No, I'm gonna ask it like this. How you doing?
Okay, to tell you the truth, I'm actually doing very well. This whole Corona thing, it's sort of like, it's sad, it's awful, it's terrible, but it's so justified. I feel justified now that this disease is pulling the covers off of these awful wounds in America, and people are finally seeing that Black folks really don't get treated well. That we're seeing the gaps in our whole health system and all the health inequities we have to deal with. Yeah. And how very often, because we don't have enough Black doctors, nurses, medical officials to be there for us, we're not taken care of as well as other people. Yeah. And I just feel like, maybe I've lived long enough to see a time where change can happen. I mean,
you froze.
Maybe.
Okay, you
real
I
change.
Lost you
maybe where I'm living in a. Tell me.
You froze. I lost you on maybe I lived long enough.
Okay, so maybe I've lived long enough to see a time in America for real change and real healing, especially as it pertains to people of color. And I really hope that we will acknowledge that and get out and vote and stand up for ourselves, because this is a time of reckoning right now. And if we don't see it now, I think we're going to just tilt back the moral arc towards justice if we don't get justified and say, yes, I see it, I feel it, and I feel it enough to stand up and vote for myself. I'm just like, oh my God, I just hope this is it.
So you're optimistic?
Yeah. Girl, I'm alive, so I'm always optimistic. Isn't that a lyric in a song?
I don't know, but if it's not, it will be.
Well, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm alive and optimistic.
Yeah, because it's such it's an interesting time that it would be easy to be not hopeful. We see the highest position in the land. That person does not have empathy for Black people, doesn't care really about the plight of Black people. And then you see,
it's
Black
period.
men
It's
being
people,
murdered.
period,
Yeah, people, period.
People,
exactly.
period. The way he came
but don't
after,
be Black.
The way he came after our armed forces.
The armed forces, well, anybody, just that's what,
Finally, it's all these horrible things he has actually said are being put together by people.
But that Kool-Aid is strong. That's some strong Kool-Aid. People can see all of that.
All of it.
All of it.
And when you put it all together and you hear these awful things, you want to say to yourself that he is a reflection of who we really are. And when I say the we, I mean America. He is a reflection. Would he have gotten into office if there weren't a whole lot of people out there willing to vote for that mess?
I know your last post. The devil.
We're gonna tear your kingdom down. Devil, we're coming for you, devil. Yeah. If we don't come for this devil, he will rise up and squash us like nasty ants. So we better come for this devil. Let him know I see you, and I keep coming for me. Because I tell people, don't come for me if I didn't come for you. If you never hear from me, don't come for me.
Because you don't want this to get a second term.
No. There's we could not possibly do that to ourselves. But then again, we've done it before.
Yeah.
You could look in the Bible when they start the whole story about Christ and all, and his days between Passover or Palm Sunday and Easter, 50 million lifetimes went on between in that week. But at one point when he's sitting there and he's talking and they come for him, he's there, and it goes to the courts, and the court says, look, I'm going to set one of these men free. You can have the gangster, outlaw, murderer, or you can have this man who did nothing. I mean, he's innocent. So the choice is to you. Who'd we choose? Who do we choose? They said, you better give me that gangster, hustling murderer. So we've done it before.
Yeah, but just like that was predestined, I think that this season, like you're saying, is predestined as well. Because, you've been, when we're in a show and the director is bad and the whole cast comes together like, woo, like the cast loves each other because they got that bad director in common that they're talking about and need support from. I think that's what's happening with us.
Come on now.
Yeah, we're coming together and we are going to overtake this mess. We're going to overtake the devil.
So I don't know what kind of TV you watch, but I was watching this show called Lovecraft. And, I love sci-fi. I wish they would use Miss Octavia's books and make some movies out of her thing, Octavia Butler. But I was watching this Lovecraft and something happened and I could hear devil with something, da, da, da. I could hear that. And I woke up the next morning and I was like, devil, I'm going to pray. We're going to pray your kingdom down. I was like, we're going to sing it down. We're going to vote it down. We are going to tear your kingdom down.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of awfulness underneath that man. And there's a lot of, can you imagine what stories he must be holding for people who actually know better and could do better, make the choice to absolutely raise evil, meanness, wickedness, bad behavior, corrupt behavior. Let's just act like we can't see it. Let's just turn a blind eye. Can you imagine?
No.
See? Exactly. That's why I say, devil, we got to tear your kingdom down.
Yeah. Those people that know the truth and do nothing and say nothing, they're held accountable as well.
And they're the worst ones. They're the worst ones because they know better.
They know better.
And they choose not to do better.
Yeah.
They're the worst ones. They're worse than, oh my God. I remember, girl, I'm in one of these chairs and it keeps sinking on me. I remember when I was little and my dad, it was in some book or something. And the kids, oh God, what was the scene? The kids go into, all right, it's some sort of a store. And one of them takes some candy, right? Just takes the candy. The kids go back and the other one says, okay, now this time I'm going to go to the right. You're going to go to the left. You start talking to them and then I'll get 4. And my father said it wasn't the amount of the second one. It was the fact that they planned it. They knew better. They knew they were doing wrong and they chose to do wrong. Oh, girl, that just led me into another show that I was watching.
What?
The premiere last night to
Oh,
Ghost.
you mean, yes. Power.
Power.
You watched it?
I watched it. It's rough. There was another haunting lyric that I heard, and I heard another song coming out of it, but I couldn't hear it all the way. And it was something about, they made a monster of me. And I was just like, whoa, that is so deep, because you see how we make monsters.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and how monsters come into power, and how you can be a dirty monster clean it up, shine it up, buff it up, put some money on it, but she's still a monster.
Oh my goodness. No, I didn't see it. Let me tell you, I have a 2-year-old. I don't see much TV.
Yeah, you're right. God bless you.
I have a lot recorded, and I am going to get to it, but not during this season. I probably won't get to it.
Oh my God! I was just with my God.
You frozen, and it is the position that you were just frozen in was. It said everything you felt, and I'll take it. So you've been out there directing in this season with masks and going on.
Yeah, we actually, I was with Megamind Productions, and they were the production company behind this film that I directed for BET Her that's going to premiere October 17th. And we literally slipped through the wellness crack in Maryland, and we got like 3 weeks where we could shoot, you know, where there were no spikes and dips and all of that within the virus. And I got mine, and I had a wonderful new young cast, and it was so deep though. I mean, the subject matter was just so deep, but so necessary, because like we were talking about earlier, we just don't take care of ourselves well enough. And we sometimes don't take advantage of what there is around us. But I got the script the month before, and my brother's new wife, was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer.
Oh my God.
By the time the week before I got to the set, she had died.
What?
She had died. The whole thing freaking me out was the script that I got that's going to premiere on the 17th is exactly what happened to them. This young vlogger, wedding planner, finds out after hugging and kissing with her fiance that she's got a lump there, and she lets it go. And we find out that as time passes, she's diagnosed with cancer. She, you know, doesn't follow up as well. And she, in the end, well, I won't tell you what happens, but I want women to pay attention to your whole self.
Yeah.
Be good to your whole self, mind, body, soul, bone, all of that. So,
and this comes
October
on
17th.
October 17th?
October 17th, BET Her. So if you don't have it, get it and watch it. And what I was so fascinated by was when they called me. I got called because Victoria Rowell, who directs so much for UMC TV, and a lot of people remember her from The Young and the Restless. And she's Drew, exactly. And, you know, she's such a great, you know, she's really an incredible artist all round. You know, her sense of style and styling, you know, the way she is in a kitchen, her design skills, but she's also a ballerina.
Yeah.
And as well as an actress. And anyway, a lot of people don't know, she has a very interesting story. Victoria Rowell went out on the front line. I'm looking at you with your natural hair and looking great on TV. Victoria went out on the front line fighting for us to be able to get people to do our hair on set. She fought for black hair people. She fought for black makeup people. She probably fought for directors too, but she fought, and she was blackballed for that.
Yeah.
And yeah. I think, you know, you talk artist to artist, how easy it is to forget that things didn't just arrive here. You know, sometimes somebody fought for it. And anyway, I was just saying, that's how I got to that project, because Victoria and I have been friends since we worked together on Distinguished Gentlemen. We've always maintained a wonderful friendship. And when they called her, she said, you got to call Sheryl Lee Ralph. She was like, I'm telling you, this woman's going to be a great director. First of all, I was just so humbled, proud, and amazed that that's how my friend saw me.
Mm-hmm.
And I got on set and I was like, well, you know this, that you can be in the middle of a scene or a song, and when it starts going so perfectly right, it's like you start ascending to the heavens because you are in the zone, baby.
Yeah.
And it's takeoff time, because this song, this scene, nothing will be the same when I finish.
Yes.
Anyway, that's how I felt.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, this is a whole nother level of, damn, I'm good. I'm good.
You had to show yourself. You had to show yourself how good you were.
Yes, I did.
You know what I love about that story, because you have fought those fights too. And I think that the scary part about being that person to fight for the Black makeup artist, being that person to be on the front line, because people are still having that fight. But we are benefiting today from what she did. And she was blackballed for it. So it doesn't always work out for the person who's doing the fighting, but the
Let
people
me tell you,
who come after them.
Pioneering is not easy.
It's not easy.
No, being the first is not easy. Because you take a bullet, you go down, and people forget that you were there at all.
They forget.
They forget.
You know, back in the day, my father sued the Navy because they were not promoting Black people, qualified Black people, the naval air base that he worked, and he sued them. And back in the late 60s, early 70s, you know, Black people didn't sue nobody.
Exactly. Like, who the hell you think you are?
Right. And, you know, he lost. And it's very well known that people started getting promoted because my father did that. And he didn't even win the suit.
Thank you.
So, you know, standing up, you got to be prepared not to win, but what comes after you.
You standing up, you got to be prepared to get knocked down. And they are not afraid to knock you down.
That's right.
That's right. It's the fact that sometimes what you did and got knocked down for refuses to stay down. So you got to get back up again.
Get back up. Watch, if you guys get a chance, watch Chadwick's speech, commencement speech at Howard. And he talks about those times that he was blackballed as well. And, you know, so look what all he became. Yeah, from a soap.
Oh, I got to find out about that.
Yeah,
I got to find out about that.
For sure.
Yeah. I miss Chadwick. That was he was a good person.
Yeah.
He was a good person. He was
Did you know him, Cheryl?
I met him. We talked, and he used to work out at the park down and around the corner from where we live, right? Mm-hmm. And he was such a wonderful, kind person. And he would always, you know, be so kind to my kids, talking and all of that. And it was so strange. The time would pass, and Etienne would end up interviewing him on the red carpet for AFCA, and then interviewing him. And I said, wow, you see how you, all the little moments, and always very kind, always quite the humanist, quite a human person. If ever I believed there in something like an angel sent here to walk with us, he was an angel.
Really?
He was an angel. Yeah, he was an angel. Artistically eccentric at times, but he was, you know, it's not, people think that, you know, those angels just carry those wings around like them. Those wings can be heavy. Those wings can hurt. Those wings can sometimes weigh you down and not truly give you flight.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Wow.
I'll miss him. I'll think about him and I'll miss him. I know I'll think about years. I'll be 110 years old, talk about, y'all miss that young Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
And if I'm 110, he'd have still been a young man. Oh, you missed an actor right there. See,
Yeah.
I'll be that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were, you know, strutting down one night only, one night only. When you were
Come on,
strutting
Dina
down,
Jones.
and Dina Jones being the originator, anybody who did it after you is doing what you created. So, so when you were doing that, when you were creating that, when you were dreaming about it, and it was happening, is where you are today what you dreamed of?
Oh, I always knew I was going to make it. If that's what you're asking me. Oh, I always knew I was going to make it.
Yeah.
I had to make it. Hold on. You know, this lighting is kicking my behind. You see, the sun started out and then it moved.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Fix the
try.
light. You got to fix the light.
Let me tell you, it's always, look at that. See, look at the difference.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
There you are.
Oops. Exactly.
There you are, Diva.
Here I am, darling. The lighting, it's got to be about, oh, wait, let me see if I can even get it better. Hold on.
There you are.
There we go.
I see Bobby Day in the house.
Oh my God, I love Bobby Day. Bobby Day and I have a record together on my first album called In the Evening, and he wrote this song, Floating with the Tide. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you record an album or you do something, and then it becomes a big hit in Madagascar. And you go to Madagascar and you're like, that's my song. And they're like, oh my God. And of course, nobody else heard it, but I can go some places in the world. And when they put on Floating with the Tide, I'm like, my God, it's on the radio.
Yeah.
It's on their morning TV.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. So that's why I say sometimes the things you do they're just the things you do. Adrienne Lennox. Somebody just said Adrienne Lennox, her name just went by.
Adrienne Lennox is in the house.
Let me tell you something about Adrienne Lennox.
Yeah.
Adrienne Lennox always had this tiny, tiny frame. And out of this tiny frame comes this glorious voice.
Yes.
And then I heard that she has a wonderful husband, Zane.
Yes, Zane.
And I heard amazing music. I heard that the two of them had the nerve to procreate another great artistic genius.
Crystal! Crystal! Have you heard Crystal?
No! Oh. But I hear she's amazing.
She is, yeah. Yeah. You'll hear her. I'm gonna tag you on something she does one day. Because she is Crystal. Yeah, they made that.
Wow.
A Broadway beast. Adrian's in the house. Anthony Wayne is in the house. Bobby Day.
Anthony Wayne. Okay, let me tell you about Anthony Wayne. Anthony Wayne and his partner, he has a producing partner, Kendrell Bowman.
Yeah.
The two of them are these two young artists with an idea for a musical.
Yes.
And they are stalking me on social media. And I'm like, what the hell? At the time, my son was attending Drexel University. Mm-hmm. And my son reads the script. And my son is like, Mom, I think you should call them. I think you should meet with them. So I'm listening to my son. We take a meeting. My son never lifts his head out of the plate. Mm-hmm. Never, not once. He just eats the whole meal. And at the end of their pitch, my son is like, oh, Mom, I think this would be a good thing. I think you should help them. That you should help promote this because Sylvester should have a show because it's going to be a big hit. And believe it or not, we worked together for years. Yeah. You know, it'd be around the road doing Mighty Real, a fabulous Sylvester musical, all about Sylvester James. I mean, an incredible artist, long overdue for his time on the screen and the stage. But Anthony Wayne is so different, but you hear him perform and see him perform, and you can't think of anybody else, you know, to do it.
Yeah,
And it's so interesting.
I
He's that
agree.
good.
I
Yeah.
agree.
When they talk about the guy in the chorus
Yeah.
and the guy in the chorus who has the things to be the star, he's that guy in the chorus.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I did Color Purple with Bobby Day and Anthony Wayne.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah.
Bobby Day has a musical that he's working on too, that he's written.
Yeah,
That's
it's good too.
yeah, there you go. Girl,
Woo!
listen, we're talking about all these great artists. Look
But
at that one. He's a songwriter, he's a playwright, and he can sing too. And that one over there, he's the guy in the chorus. Girl, we got stories. Go ahead, name another name. I'll tell you another story.
another yeah, and Adrian, one of my dearest friends, I got to tell you, I was I keep books. If I could show you, you would see that my husband and I keep books. And I went looking on my shelf because I said, I know I do.
Bam! There you go. Redefining diva.
Mother owns it.
Well, I tell you, in this time of quarantine and COVID, I took the time to remaster in terms of, I have the rights for the audio book. So I decided to update the story, do an audio. It'll be available on Audible in the fall. So everybody should get ready. New things, new stories, new things to tell and talk about. Some things I said, let me just correct that. You know how that is. You do a memoir and you're like, why did I rush through that? Let me just tell them the truth.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have the nice audio book coming up. And hey, people, please, you know, be on the lookout for that.
Well, you read to us a little bit during quarantine.
Yes, I did.
Night we got a story. Every night. It was lovely. I was right there for it. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Thank you.
So I was when I was reading it, you know, you have the different chapters that is like the diva gets her dream, the diva struggles, the diva takes risks and all of that. But I thought, and I hope this is in the revised copy, because I thought you left out the diva gives back, because you, my friend, are just the philanthropist. Your work with the DIVA Foundation is so amazing, and your Diva Simply Singing every year. So what have you done this year by not being able to do Diva Simply Singing the way you usually do? Do you have a virtual concert happening?
Absolutely. We're going to be, look, if the Academy Awards can be virtual, if the whoever is going to be virtual, I just said to myself, we're going to have a virtual concert this year, you know, and we're going to be doing a telethon so that we can raise some money at the same time. And the show is going to be aired on TV in Los Angeles, KTLA, and there's some other stations around across the country who are interested in the possibility of airing it as well. So Saturday, December 5th, KTLA, 7 to 9 p.m. It will be Divas Simply Singing virtually.
Wow. Thank you for all that work, all the work you've done.
You know what?
HIV and AIDS.
Thank you. It really all came about as an original company member of Dreamgirls on Broadway. I mean, you know, people hardly ever talk about the fact that we lost about 1/3 of our original company, you know, to AIDS. The fact that it just wiped, I mean, if you were talking about the whole creative team, they're gone except for Bob Apion and Henry Krieger. And I think Henry might be positive, but I'm not sure. So, you know, it's just like, my God, that itself would be ravaging. But I just said, no, this time in my life, I have to have some way to remember those people, some way to remember what they were to me. And I always laugh and I say, anybody helps you with your wig, your weave, your weft, your wardrobe, your costuming, you got to remember them.
Yeah.
And that's how it all came about for me. I felt vindicated seeing Pose. I felt You know, so many people couldn't understand what it was you were talking about in those
Yeah.
AIDS wards, but they made it very real. And I was like, thank God, you know, there it is. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's how it happened. That's how it came about for me. I hate it when I get stuff on my glasses, and then it's like you try to make it normal, and you're like trying to see through the smudge of it all.
But you know, having an acting career alone is a full-time job. It's
Yeah.
challenging, it's hard, it's time consuming. But how are you running this foundation that is so time consuming and maintaining a career that's so relevant at the same time? I mean, where do you what you drinking?
I have to tell you that on this 30-year journey of making sure this living, breathing memorial stayed alive, I was blessed with angels around me. I was blessed with people who understood that there were covers, and these covers weren't always showing the fact that Black folks were being hit hard by this disease, that color had something to do with it, that poor people were being hit by this disease, poverty had something to do with it, women were coming up hit by this disease. All of those things had something to do with it, and nobody was doing anything. I said, you all, we have to keep telling these stories. We have to keep raising awareness. There are some years I do not know how Diva Simply happened. I don't know, because I'm telling you, if I were to write one page for every year of Diva Simply Singing and the Diva Foundation, most of them would start with I had no idea, because I had no idea. But 30 years later, I know of at least 3 people that have been with me for maybe 30 of the 30, 29 of the 30, 27 of the 30. That's amazing.
Yeah.
There have been people who have said to me, look, this is what I do. If I can help you doing this, I'll help you with that. But that's all I do. That's how I've been able to make this work. When it came to money, sometimes the money would not follow the disease. And sometimes you would not get those grants. People weren't looking at you. They're looking at you, first of all, you're female, so why are you doing this? You're not gay, so why are you doing this? And why are you doing this? And it was very, very difficult. And then you'd have people who themselves were ill who would tell you, I don't know why you're doing this. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't do anything. And it was hard to hear that, because it was almost as if, you know, doing this work the past 30 years, I've heard so many thoughts around, you know, people and how isms get started, which is how and why we feel it's necessary to fight stigma. Because people do a lot of crazy things when they don't want anybody to know who they really are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
But I hope I
Hiding
answered your question. I'm so
hiding
sorry.
equals hate. Yeah. You oh my goodness, yes, you did. You know, but you've you've always I'm gonna go back to another question because you know you never did fully answer when you said I always knew I would make it.
Oh, I always know I'd make it. Yeah. What was the rest of the question?
No, that was it. When you were step touching and tipping in Dreamgirls, did you know you would land here, being the president of a top foundation, raising money for AIDS and HIV, being a very accomplished actress in film and television, being an activist, being an author. I mean, was that all a part of your vision, or was just if I just get a TV show, I'll be happy? What I mean, what
I
was that
always knew I
all?
was going to make it.
Yeah.
I always knew that,
Mm-hmm.
because my mother told me it. She told it to me, and I believed her.
Yeah.
My father once heard me sing, and my father said, God, you're good. I said, wow, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, my dad used to work with me. You know, when I graduated from Rutgers, you know, they really wanted me to stay there for that first class of Mason Gross. But I had to tell Dr. John Bettenbender, I can't, Dr. Bettenbender, because I'm going to Broadway. And he was like, you haven't even graduated yet, and you're going to Broadway? I said, I'm going to Broadway, Dr. Bettenbender. Shoot, he was so happy to come and sit up front and watch me. He was so happy, talking about, how did you know? I was like, how did you not know, Dr. Bettenbender? You know, so, you know, he followed me my whole career. But I always had great mentors too, to tell me I was going to make it, you know. So I'll never forget Virginia Capers, who won the Tony for Raisin. I met her as part, when I became one of the top 10 college women in America, Glamour magazine. You got to choose a leader in your field. My chosen field was the arts. And I wanted to meet the Tony winner. And there it was, this wonderful Black woman, Virginia Capers, great mentor to me until the day she died. I mean, my God, she found my first apartment. She made sure I was in acting class, you know, just amazing, amazing mentor, you know. And that was, God, so long. And always, I write about her in the book, you know.
Yeah.
I had great mentors, Roz Cash, you know, Roz Cash, another woman who fought for her right to wear her natural hair. And she was blacklisted because she was an obvious dreadlock woman.
Yeah.
But I just had so many great mentors, and it was as if they were saying, go on and be fabulous, go on and be famous, go on. And they were always saying it with a bit of trepidation, because like you, I'm an obviously Black girl. I mean, I'm a chocolate chick. You know, it's not like Tom Ian, you know, Tom Ian, he used to say to me sometimes, he said, when you come over the mountain, Tom used to be very dramatic in the way he spoke. He said to me, when you come over the mountain, they see it is a Black girl. They see it. It's not like when others come over the mountain, they're not sure what they are. But when they see you, they see a Black girl. But to him, he thought, in some crazy way, he would always tell me that I was going to do great things. My philanthropy would never have surprised him. On his dying bed, Tom Ian was looking at me, saying something to the effect of, and I don't mean really his bed, I mean him passing away though.
Yes.
But he once he looked at me and he said, when you do your good works, you are Audrey Hepburn, not Marilyn Monroe. For the life of me, I never knew what the hell that meant. I never knew.
I can take some guesses, but
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As I grew older, I started to get it.
Yeah.
I started to get it. And it's like, even as the older I get, it still reveals itself in a new meaning.
Yeah.
Audrey Hepburn did some amazing things as an artist. She used her platform to do something that most people will probably never, ever know she did.
Right.
But it has, to this day, it has made a difference for thousands of people.
Yeah.
So I say, I may never know how, why the angels come to help me, to move me forward, the things that I've done that people will never know. But what I really hate is when people want to tell you that you'll never get it. This one particular person said, it's amazing what you've done. I mean, no, it's really absolutely amazing what you've done. I mean, I wouldn't have done it. But the fact that you did it, it's just like, wow. You know, what's the part that's really too bad is nobody will know.
Oh my goodness. Somebody said that to you?
Said it to me. Said it to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that part.
That part, that was just a waste. That was a waste of words, a waste of energy.
Why did they even bother?
Yeah.
Why did they even bother? But they did.
Yeah.
But
there was some envy there. They wanted to put a hole in what you had done. They wanted to put a hole in your spirit, but they didn't know that they didn't have that kind of power.
They didn't have that power.
Mm-mm.
So
having that kind of support. I mean, your mother said you were great. Your father said you were great. You had these mentors.
But mind you, my mother's going to say great things about me no matter what. No matter what.
Well, listen, my mother loves me. I'm her only child. She loves herself some me. And I love myself some her. But when I was 10 years old and I wanted to be in the talent show at the American Legion Post, anybody knows what that is? And I wanted to sing The Impossible Dream. And I had that. My mother played it all the time. My mother was a drama teacher, so she played The Impossible Dream, to dream the impossible. And I wanted to sing that song. And I would be around the house practicing. And my mother said, come baby, come. I just don't think you're a singer. And she said, I think you are an actress. I think you should recite The Impossible Dream. And I said, really, Mom? She said, yes, recite it. And we worked on it. Now, I won reciting it. To dream the impossible dream. I was 10 years old. But let me tell you, that affected me as a singer.
Yeah.
Because I would always hear, you're not a singer, you're an actress. I would always hear that. And so I think she loves me to life. But we do have to be careful the words that we speak to people, because, you know, to this day, I'm in voice lesson and my voice teacher will say, you got that note. What's the problem? I said, I'm not really a singer. And he said, who told you that? You know
what? So it's so interesting you're telling this story. I had that same thing happen to me in Dreamgirls.
Really?
People started comparing me to Jennifer. And in their comparison of me to Jennifer, I'm young, I bought into it. So I'm comparing and I'm trying to make something out of, it's like being a first soprano, but you swear to everybody that you are a mezzo soprano. It's like, no, you're not going to sing those songs in the opera because that's not your range.
Right.
And I don't know why you're trying to sing opera anyway, because you belong on a Broadway stage or whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all, as my mother would say, listen up, we all have our roles to play. And you must find yours.
Yes.
And I was so busy trying to be in her role that I didn't stay in my lane. And it messed up with my head. And I almost ruined my voice.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, years pass, and I'm hearing people telling me, well, she ain't no Jennifer Holliday. And I'm hearing, you're not good. You're not good. Because in my head, she's the greatest.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I shrink myself and almost mess up my own thing. That when they asked me to come back to Broadway to do Thoroughly Modern Millie, I was like, I don't think I can sing 8 shows a week. Now, of course I could. But in my head, what it took for me to get over it.
Yeah.
And when it came time to record the cast album, oh my God, I was so sick.
Really? Wait a minute, which cast album?
Of Thoroughly Modern Millie. I was so sick. But every time people listen to it, they're like, that is one of the most brilliant performances. And I'm like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. The
Mm-hmm.
head trips, we work on our own selves,
On ourselves.
listening to what other people say.
Yeah.
That's why I say in my book, I don't compare, I don't compete with anyone,
Mm-hmm.
not even myself, because there's always and only one loser, and that's you.
Yeah.
And I can't have that.
No, you can't.
I can't have that.
But knowing how important it is to validate people, and you've been the beneficiary of that. We've got in our own way, but you had a lot of positive input. What do you say to the young girl who's dreaming today of starting a career, who wants to be a diva, on the road to being a diva? They're starting out. What do you say to them? To
First of I say to that young girl, first of all, if you wouldn't do this without pay, and I mean without pay, if you wouldn't do this knowing that you're gonna have to change your clothes in somebody's bathroom for a long time along the way, sometime, if you do not believe and know that you are the best thing since sliced bread, please don't do this. Don't do this. This is not the job, the pursuit for you. It's not for you, because I have been too tall, too short, too black, not black enough, and that's all in one day. You
Wow.
can't take that kind of rejection. Don't do this. If you don't have the tenacity, the fortitude to hang on in there when you're down to one claw, if you don't have the stuff to hang in there till that,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't do it. If you don't have the stuff that can let you stand up and listen to other people's foolishness without making it your own, please don't do this. Because this is not the career for you. And I could go on, because there is so much madness
Mm-hmm.
in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not ready for that, please, little girl, don't do this. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
But if you must,
Yes.
let me tell you something. This is one of the most fulfilling things ever. I mean, you can work through every problem in life with good characters and good roles chosen well, because you could just lose yourself in somebody new and then leave that character behind. You
Yeah.
know, it's so fulfilling. It's wonderful. You know, just know that different mediums pay differently.
Yeah.
You can be on stage, you can win Tony Awards, and you will be royalty. You will also be poor.
Yes. Yes.
Because if somebody doesn't come up and snatch you out of it all and put you in film, oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
then once again, you will be royalty. You better make it big, because if you didn't make it big and you just going movie to movie and there can be a 10-year wait, you are just a working actor.
Yeah.
But if you are fortunate enough and they drop you on a TV series that lasts for anything close to 100 episodes, you may not be artistically fulfilled, but you will be rich.
Unless it's on cable.
Unless it's on cable. That's all we have to say. That's all now. And then again, don't let it be Netflix. Unless you're a really, really, really big star and they gave you the 30 million.
Right. Miss Sheryl Lee Ralph,
Yes, darling.
what keeps you up at night?
Hold on. Let me show you what keeps me up at night. What keeps me up at night is the notion that people might not vote. That's what keeps me up, that they might not vote, that they might not exercise their right to vote. What keeps me up at night is the thought that, oh my God, we could have a monster in the White House. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I realize I do what I can do. And I
Yeah.
tell everybody, spread this message, not the disease, because this is a time of corona. Go to, what is it? My Instagram. Yes, just go to my Instagram, follow the link, or shopwithsheryllee.com.
Yeah.
Get yourself a mask and spread the message. It's interesting when you wear this on your face,
Mm-hmm.
people look at you like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, yeah, I'm having, you can't see my lips, but I'm watching you because we're having a real conversation. Just you reading this, just you seeing
That's you
this, we're
seeing
having
it.
a real conversation. Yeah. So we have less than 60 days for
Mm-hmm.
this election.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't rise up and realize how important it is to us, I'm telling you, we're going to miss. You know how in the Twilight Zone, they have those doors and you got to get the right door. You got to slide through that right sliver of space,
Mm-hmm.
to find your way home or make your dreams come true on the other side or whatever it is. If we don't get it together, we're going to miss that time. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm doing all I can do. I really am.
We join you. We join you in that.
Thank you.
We're gonna join you in that.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, I think you're amazing. I think you're wonderful. I think not only are you the dream girl that I spent the early part of my career emulating
Oh,
and watching, but then when I met you, you were the same. You were just as
oh,
welcoming and loving. And I looked at some of the things after reading your book and reading. First of all, we have three very important things in common, very interesting things. We both did pageants. I did one or two. You did one or two. We both did the DOD USO.
you're kidding
I'm
me.
not kidding you.
Wow. What were those? I don't know about your experience, but for me, my experience working with the Department of Defense, singing and performing for our armed forces was really one of the high points in my artistic development as a performer, as a vocal artist,
Yes.
as an entertainer. I was put in the position of being the star, so
Yes.
okay, so let me tell you the whole thing. There's a story.
Yeah.
I get hired by a magazine called Penthouse. And Penthouse magazine was a big, explicit nudie magazine, right?
We know.
Okay. And I walk in for this audition because I don't know what Penthouse is. But when I walk in, I'm shocked by, what I see on the walls. And I walk in and I said, I don't know what you're looking for, but I'm a singer and I sing with my clothes on. And this woman lifts her head up with the strangest accent that I now know is a South African accent, but it's a Boer, I think it's a Boer accent.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she looks up and she says to me, we already have the naked one. We need a singer. If you're a singer, sing. And that woman had me sing in the hallways of the open doors of Penthouse magazine. Anyway, I got paid a nice amount of money to go on tour with the Penthouse Pet of the Year, Annika DiLorenzo.
Mm-hmm.
She would come out and she was the opening act, open to the center page. And they said, well, we need a show. We need an act. We need a show. And after she would go off, she would say, and now let me introduce to you my bodyguard. And I walked.
Okay, bodyguard.
And I walk out in this hot pink pinstripe suit, this shirt that looks like it's up to my neck, but of course it was a halter.
Mhm.
But I was so scared of the whole thing about being revealing. I never took off the jacket. And this huge felt fedora, right? And I come out and I sing, Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Why?
Okay, why that song? Because these are the armed forces.
Mm-hmm.
And I would listen to there was a radio show that would come on, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the armed forces. And I would listen to what they liked. So those are the songs I learned with the band. Girl, I was a big hit from Insur Lit Turkey to Ramstein, Air Base to Truck, Ponapo, oh my God, Pump It, wherever that island is. Baby, I was there where the atomic clock is. I was everywhere. And I enjoyed it. And I went, my first tour of duty, I was really young. And that's how I ended up getting my first film, Piece of the Action. Because I don't know how it was when you did it, but connecting back from the Far East, you can either connect through San Francisco or Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I chose Los Angeles. And I left everything because I was getting off.
Wow.
I had planned it. So if it wasn't in the bags that, and then you could have bags with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the bags with me then, baby. It was like sayonara. And my second tour of duty, when I came back around, I got another show. So, I mean, working for the armed forces for me was great. Always.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful for me too. I saw the world that way. And
me too.
Yeah. It was
Me too.
It was the best thing. That's why I was so excited to see it. My husband went to Mason Gross. So we were supposed to.
My God, when you talk about 6 degrees
Mm-hmm.
of separation,
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot right there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
So what can we do to help keep your dreams alive, Miss Dream Girl, aside from voting?
Okay.
And we are going to support the Diva Simply Singing in December.
Thank you.
And we are going to watch October 17th on BET Her, your directing job. What else can we do? We are going to follow her on IG.
Please.
And you're gonna get all the stories, y'all. So follow her. What else can we do?
Oh, there are a lot of little things.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody is watching and they are an Amazon shopper, if you are an Amazon shopper, go to the Amazon Smile. Amazon Smile. If you go to Amazon Smile, they give you lists of 501c3s, nonprofits to support. Just put in the DIVA, DIVA Foundation, the DIVA Foundation. You just have to scroll down. There are lots of different divas, but you're going to look for the DIVA Foundation, West Hollywood. And it says health, it says awareness. Just put us in there. And every time you shop, we will literally get a small donation. So I encourage people to please go to Amazon Smile, put in the DIVA Foundation, and that helps us. October 17th, please get BET Her so that you can watch my film, like, comment, subscribe. I ask you to please put together some watch parties. Put together some watch parties so that you can see my film and the film of Vanessa Bell Calloway. Vanessa Bell Calloway herself is somebody who has, she's had, oh, thank you, Bobby Day. Bobby's saying he's going to do it. She's somebody who has really dealt with breast cancer, and she has a film that was written by 2 young mentees of mine, Deshawn Plyer and Sade Owenda. I always mess up Sade's name, and Sade. And so anyway, please put together the watch parties that you can watch and talk about it with your friends. And who knows, I might have to organize a Zoom and do the same thing. Another thing that you can do is when you're on Facebook, you can go to my Facebook IG, the Sheryl Lee Ralph, or Diva Simply Singing. Sundays at 7 p.m. You can watch Divas Simply Quarantined, fabulous in isolation.
I was on.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
Yes.
Coming up.
Yes.
So I would love people to, you know, spend their Sundays, watch, and then share. You know, once again, talk about it. People always say, oh my God, I had no idea, or I didn't know that about that person. So that's been another great experience. How are other things that you can help? Oh, if you see us on Facebook and we're asking for donations, anything you donate is acceptable, and it will be received graciously. I mean, some people can only give you $1 or $5. It's the fact that they choose to give you anything at all that makes the huge difference. So I say, you know, please don't be afraid to donate. And just like I say, please don't be afraid to vote.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to vote. Don't be afraid to vote
Yes.
like your life depends upon it. And you can go to www.shopwithsheryllee, and you can purchase your masks and have a conversation. We have T-shirts on too, but it's so far down you can't see it.
Yeah.
But you
and
know,
you can
just
follow
show.
Diva Simply Quarantine. You can follow them as well.
You can follow them, and you can follow me. And I love it. Somebody said food is medicine. Absolutely right. They must know about Project Angel Food, which, you know, we've been supporting them and being with them for a while. Somebody just said they saw Judge Mathis on the show. We do a version called Right Here, Right Now. And the one with Judge Mathis was so enlightening, eye-opening. I said, listening, I said, this is why we have to give some people a second chance. Hey, Jenny Pauline, I see her there. That's why we have to give people a second chance. You know, we can't just act like they don't really matter. You know, it was very interesting.
Yeah. Everybody matters. We all
somebody
matter.
just did it. Somebody just said,
Just
I
did the
just
Amazon.
went to Amazon Smile.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys keep supporting. Sheryl, thank you.
Thank you, my dear.
It was fun.
I actually enjoyed it. I said to myself, oh my God, it's so weird. People ask me to talk, and I'm always like, well, what do I have to talk about? And then I hear, oh, this has been wonderful. It's the end. And I'm like, oh my God, what did we talk about? But anyway.
We talked about a lot.
We talked about a lot. Absolutely.
We're going to get our country back. That was the main thing.
Come, better vote like your life depends upon it.
Because it does in many ways.
Back. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does. And don't be afraid to vote straight down that ballot. And if people are going to vote by mail, please vote correctly. Whatever it is that you need to do, if you're in a state like Pennsylvania, it has to be in 2 envelopes. Put the ballot in the 2 envelopes that they gave you. If it needs a stamp to go back, please buy a stamp. If you don't stamp it, it's going to get lost. If you have to sign the ballot, sign the ballot. Please sign the ballot. If not, it's just not going to count. So please prepare to vote successfully, and then fill out the census too. So there you have it.
You have to have a voting plan. So we'll talk about that, and follow Sheryl. You can get information about that as well. But we gotta go. I gotta go celebrate my birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
I'm blessed, and you were an amazing birthday gift. So thank you.
Tell your husband I said hi.
I will. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye, girl.
Bye. Mwah.
Mwah.
Hey, y'all. Wasn't that great? I know. It was so much fun. So I'm going to be back on Wednesday. Thank you, sister-in-law. I saw so many people. I saw my besties. saw Kimberly. I saw Tani Tan. So I'm going to be back on Wednesday. And my Christine and my guest on Wednesday. Y'all, I'm so excited. I'm always excited, right? Because I get to sit down with some pretty cool people. So come back on Wednesday at 3:00. Okay. And thank you for all the birthday wishes. I am blessed. I'm blessed. All right. Love y'all.